We have class, inside the class we have these methods. These three methods, we are just getting the name attribute and age attribute and salary attribute using these methods. Because we are returning the name. The return type is string. The name data type is string. So we can return the value. Get age return type is integer. Here whatever returning attribute age type also integer. Here if you want to return the double, if you want to return the salary here in the selected one, it will give compile time error. Here the return type is double, so we are returning the salary attribute data type is double. We can't return age and name here. It will give compile time error. Now inside the test 6, we have a main method. Inside the main method, we are just creating the object to the person class and assigning the values to the person class attributes. And we are printing the attributes of the person one object by calling the methods. Similarly, this is the second way of accessing the attributes. You can access the attributes using the object name dot attribute name. Here, what we are doing, we are just printing one message: each person is eligible for vote, and person one dot is eligible for vote. Of we are sending the age equal to 32. Similarly, I created object person two. We are printing only one method of the person two class. We are not printing these all things. If you print all these things also, we'll get these values 3 times. Go to this SRC. Any brackets missing, it will give compile error. No compilation success. cd double dot slash classes. Java test 6. First we got ABC 32, the salary of the first employee. We got 2 times. Now each person is eligible for vote. Because the age of the person is 32, is eligible for vote is true. Second person object, each person is eligible for vote. His age is 17, so it is coming as a false. Now here, what is a class? We'll go to the question, what is a class in the Java? Class is a user-defined prototype. Class is a user-defined prototype. By using the prototype, we can create any number of objects to the class. By using a prototype, we can create any number of objects to the class. Here we have created 2 objects. This is a one definition. We can tell what is a class in the second way also. Class is a user-defined prototype which is having set of attributes and set of methods. Class is user-defined prototype which is having collection of attributes or set of attributes or set of functions. You can say set of methods. Is called as a class. Class is a definition block which is having set of attributes and or set of methods in it. Why we are calling this is a prototype? Prototype means it is a single model. By using this person, single model, single prototype, we can create any number of objects. Objects means we can say object is a real-time entity. One object is not equal to the another object. We can give any type of values, like different kind of values to the attributes, and we'll get the different behavior for the methods. Here in the person one class, person one object, the values we provided for the person one is ABC and age is 32 and 10,023 as a salary. Here, if you call these methods, we'll get a different behavior. We'll get the different values. In case of second object, person two, we have different values. And if whenever we call this is eligible for vote, for person two, we got false because the age is 17. For person one, we got true because the age is 32. Now we can see what is the object. Object is one type of unit in object-oriented programming language. You can tell if somebody asks what is object. Object is a unit of object-oriented programming language. By using the object, we can get the state of the class and behavior of the class methods. We can tell this attribute values is a state of the object. Once we give the value, that will go and store into the memory, and that memory is having the attributes name equal to age, and the name equal to ABC, age equal to 23, salary equal to this one, and the methods get name, get age, and get salary is stored into the memory in some location. That location is pointing with the reference of the object person one. What is the object? Object is a unit in object-oriented programming. You can say object as a unit which is having state of the class and behavior of the class. Which by using the object, you can get the state of the class and behavior of the class. State means the attribute values. Behavior means the methods. Now, if you go to the what is the state? Whenever we have a class, if the class is having non-static variables, You can tell instance variables. If you object is created, the non-static members will load to the memory with the default values. And if you assign any values to the non-static variables, that is called as a state of the class. Next one is behavior. What is the behavior? If you have a class, is a prototype. Class is having some methods, functions. Now here we have a person class. In the person class, we have a method is eligible for vote. By calling this method is eligible for vote by sending the age of the person, we can identify the behavior of the person. The person is able to go and vote or not. We can find he is eligible for vote or not. This is telling the behavior of the person. Now I have person 1. Person 1 is not eligible for the vote. We got the person 1 behavior by calling this method. And this second person 2, the age is 17, so he is not eligible for vote. We got the behavior of the person 2 by calling this method. Here, if you go to the object is having the behavior. You can, by calling the object methods, you can get the behavior of the person class. And here we know this third term in the object is the identifier. This is a variable identifier. By using this identifier, we can identify the person class state and behavior. This is a person 1 is identifier. By using this identifier only, we can get the all the attributes. Getting the attributes by using person 1, whatever I selected now here. Getting the behavior by calling the methods of the person 1 identifier. Now we got what is a class and what is object. You can take one more example. Class employee got string name int employee ID string designation. I have 3 attributes and I will create one more constructor employee of string name. Now I am creating argumented constructor int employee ID string designation. This start name equal to name. We're assigning the current class attribute name from the argumented constructor first argument. This start employee ID equal to second argument of the argumented constructor. This means current class attribute. The start designation equal to third argument of the argumented constructor. Now we have attributes. We have a constructor. Inside the constructor, this is argumented constructor. Whatever values we are providing to the constructor, we are assigning that values to the object. Now here I have string get name. I am getting the name by calling this method. Return this dot name. We are calling current class name attribute. Int get employee. We are getting the employee ID. Return this dot. If you're not giving this, by default the compiler will take care of giving the this. In previous program person we are not given this, but compiler will take care of giving that. Why I am giving get destination D is a capital. We have learned whenever we learned about the variable declarations and method identifiers. Whenever we give the identifier to the method start with the lowercase letter, and whatever words multiple. If your method is name is having the multiple words, each and every word is having the starting with the uppercase letter. D is the uppercase letter, but the method starts with the lowercase letter G. Return this dot designation. Now we have employee class. Employee class we have three attributes, non-static variables, and we are created one argumented constructor. By using argumented constructor, I am just initializing the values to the employee class, non-static variables. I have three getter methods to get the values of the employee class attributes. And now I have class test7. Public static void main string args. Inside public static void main, I am just creating object to the employee class. Employee 1 equal to new employee of I gave the name is employee 1, employee ID is 0001, and designation is software engineer. This is employee 1. How to get the members of the employee 1? System dot out dot println of emp1 dot get name. We can get the name by calling the methods. System dot out dot. We are getting the behavior of the employee 1. Employee 1 dot get employee ID. System dot out dot println of employee 1 dot get designation. We are getting the designation behavior of the employee 1. Similarly, we can create any number of employees. Employee 2 equal to new employee. Here I'll give employee name as employee 2 and ID is 0002. Is a senior software engineer. created object, second object. Instead of writing everything, I'm just printing the all with the same employee 2, employee 2, employee 2. Now what we are doing, it's similar to existing program. We have person class earlier. Now we created employee class. In employee class, I have 3 non-static variables. I'm creating object to the employee class with the 3 argument constructor. And inside the constructor, what we are doing, we are just assigning the values to the class level variables from the constructor argumented variables. The variable name is name and the class variable also name. So how to differentiate from class variable to local variable? We have this keyword to tell this is for the class level variable. Similarly, we have seen yesterday, we have employee constructor with no argument constructor. Here, if you want to call argumented constructor of an employee, we have to call by using this keyword. This of name, age, name, employee ID. I'm not giving everything. We have to call by giving the arguments, 3 arguments. The values you have to provide here. I commented this. Here, if you want to call the no argument constructor, I'm commenting this, but I am telling how to call the constructor by calling current class. This is a keyword to call the current class members. Here, this is the keyword to access the current class attribute. This dot name equal to whatever argument we are getting as a name, that value we are assigning to this dot name. Whenever we call get name, we will get the current class attribute value. Save this. test7.java. Now go to the SRC. test7.java. Here string cannot be converted into int. Okay. Designation is a string type. We should not use a different return type as an integer or something else. Whatever designation type is there, we have to use the same as a return type. Just I think copy pasted that. Test7. Go to the classes. Java test7. First we got employee 1, 001, software engineer. Here employee 2, software engineer. Here we have, if you see here, now we have 2 employees. If you have 10 employees, we have to print 10 times the same code, but the name is different. EMP1, EMP2. Similarly, if EMP3, EMP4, EMP5, something like that. To avoid this duplicate code also, we can create one function. Inside the function, for the function, we have to pass employee object as an argument, and we can print that values. Let's make it in the next class. File, new file. I'll take one simple class. Class student. String name, int age. I have 2 attributes for the student class. I'm creating a constructor, student, string name, int age. This start name equal to, we are assigning value to the current class attribute from the argumented constructor arguments. This dot age equal to age. Now here I'll create one getter method string. The return type of the name is string, so I'm creating get name method. Return type is not void, it is a type of string type. We have to return the string attribute. So I'm returning that. The return type of the age is integer. I'm giving the integer return type. Get age. Return this dot age. I'm returning the age. Here I'll take type of void. Print employee. I want to print the employee. Here employee I am taking as an argument. Inside the employee print employee, I want to print system dot out dot println of employee dot get name. System dot out dot println of employee dot get age. Here what we are doing, we are just avoiding the duplicate code. In a previous program employee, we avoid here in our class, this is a student. Sorry, we should not take the employee, we have to take the student class. std. Print the student. The same function name, because the employee, if you want to print the employee, we have to take the print employee. You can give the employee and employee. Since it is a student class, inside the student class, whatever methods are there, those methods should be related to student. Not, we should not use employee. Somebody see, they will get confused. Class test 8. Public static void main. String args. Here create object to the student. Student 1 equal to new student. New student of giving the name. ABC, age equal to 32. Now here, student 1 dot print the student. Don't do anything, simply print the student. Because we are already printing the values inside the print student method. Here, whenever we are calling student1 dot print student, the print student is accepting one argument, expecting one argument. So we have to pass that argument over here. Without passing that, we can't get the output. We'll get the compile time error. Student 2. New student of YZ 18. Student 2 dot print student of student 2. Here what we are doing, we are just printing the students. If you want to create one more student, you can create and we can print. Now here if you see, only we have 2 attributes. If you have 10 attributes, we have to print all 10 attributes over here. 10 times as system out of println. If you put here 10 times, 10, 10, here also 10. We'll get the 30 lines of duplicate code. To avoid the duplication, it is very clear. We have to create a function and call that function everywhere. student 3, xyz 1, 2, 3, age equal to 19. I'm passing the student 3 as an argument. I'm calling print student from the student 3. Control S. State.java. I have student class. Inside student class, I have two variables: string name, int age, and I have a student constructor, which is used for initializing the non-static members. We got the attributes as arguments, string name and int age. Those attributes we are taking and assigning to the class level attributes. This dot name equal to name. This dot age equal to age. This is a keyword to get the global class level attributes. String get name. Get name is a function to get the global attribute of name. Get age is a function to get the global attribute of age, because we gave the this dot age. Here we have a util function print student. We are passing student object to as an argument to the function. We are printing the values. Student dot get name, student dot get age. We created 3 students. We are printing the 3 students by calling the print student function. cd double dot src. State.java. cd double dot slash classes. Java test state. We printed 3 students: ABC 22, XYZ 16, XYZ 1, 2, 3, 19. Now we learned the loops and we learned what is the class and what is the object. We'll go and learn next one. Operators in Java. The operators is common to the whatever operators we are discussing now. Those are common to all programming languages. We have incremental operators. Incremental operators is 2 types: post increment, pre-incremental. Similarly, decremental operators: post decrement, pre-decremental. Operators in Java is 2 types. One is incremental operators and second one is decremental operator. Incremental operator is 2 types again: post incremental, pre-incremental. Second type is similarly decremental operators is 2 types: post decremental, pre-decremental. If you have a variable int I equal to 0, if you give I++, this is a post incremental. After I++, if you do system.out.println of I, we'll get the value as 1. First incrementing is happening, then values we are getting. What is a pre-increment? plus plus I. System.out.println of I. Here also we'll get the value of 1. But here, first increment is happening, then you can access the attribute. That we'll see in example. Now, what is the post decrement? I minus minus. The value is 0. System.out.println of I is becoming minus 1. Because it is decrementing one value. 1 minus 1 is, it's not minus 1, 0. This is a post increment. Pre-decrement, post decrement. Pre-decrement is minus minus I. Out.println of I. If I value is 1, after post decrement, value will become 1. Now we can take on examples and we can learn what is a post increment, post decrement. What is a post pre-increment, pre-decrement? Take 5 minutes break and join 12:25. Log in 12:25.